I'm going to talk to him about his schoolwork real quick.
Okay.
Not Meg, I need to get up.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Side Seat Plus or Facebook. I know I'm late. I'm sorry. New scheduling. And tomorrow is a holiday, so the kids don't have school, which means I have kids in my house. So I'm in the bedroom, which is why the terrible white background is there. It's scary. And we're going to be invaded by a nutmeg any minute because I'm on the bed. And therefore, nutmeg's got to come and play. So today we're going to talk about St. Valentine. I have both chats up and going, I think. Or I don't. I'm going to restart my Facebook. So please give me just a minute. Oh, of course it is. There it goes. Okay, cool. So now I have it up and going because evidently I didn't need to. I just needed to threaten it. Okay, so St. Valentine. St. Valentine is a 3rd century priest or saint. He lived in Rome, and his day is the 14th of February. So St. Valentine he was just Valentine, Father Valentine. It all started back in the 4th or 6th, 3rd century, when Rome practiced the art of prima nocta. I guess it's not really an art. It's a horrible practice. It's a terrible, terrible thing. Prima nocta is that the local governing body had the ability to claim your bride on the night of the wedding, to grace her with his seed before you did, especially if you were not Roman. The Romans were very much, if you can't chase them out, breed them out. So people started getting married in secret, and Valentine would go and perform these weddings so that you don't have to sneak. It's okay. They know people are in the house. Okay. That is crosslock.
Oh no.
Oh no. What did you do?
I don't know. I turned off your power strip.
Dude.
I'm sorry. God.
Seriously. So anyway, he would perform the weddings in secret so that they would be ordained by the Catholic Church, but not Roman law. So that's where the idea of Valentine's Day started. And he would sneak couples out en masse into the woods and do these mass weddings. The idea of giving gifts on St. Valentine's Day, he was, of course, martyred because the Romans found out what he did and killed him. I do believe that he was hung. I don't think it was too gruesome, but the day it is the day he was hung that is February 14th, or the Roman equivalent. So that is why we celebrate that day. The idea of giving gifts on his day actually is only about 600 years old. And it is the idea that you would honor him by either gifting your love, who you had already married. That's why Valentine's Day is such a big wedding day, proposal day. That's why it's that tradition. So the idea is that you would give gifts. I'm going to yell for a minute. Tim, I need my phone back. You would give gifts on that day to your love or somebody you intended to court. And it became a day of courtly love. So the idea that you would see a woman from afar and court her and woo her and give her gifts anonymously and that sort of thing, because that's what you did. That's where we get the anonymous gift. the occasional blind date, sending people flowers, candies, chocolates, those type of things, because you would start the concept of, if I give gifts, then people have to the woman would have to figure out who they're from. Then you find out whether or not she's interested based on who she thinks they're from, which is kind of silly. Courtly love gets weird. Because courtly love is a lot of the idea that you can love someone from afar and not tell them who you are for ages and ages and ages, and you pine away in silence while they get betrothed to other people and get married, which is just silly. And then, so that's where the cards and the Valentines and the cards and the Valentines and the presents and the chocolates, that's where they all come in. Is this day that was, let's get married and flaunt Roman law and still be accepted by the Catholic Church, morphed into, let us speak of forbidden love and sneak around behind people's backs and share chocolates and trinkets and that kind of thing. And then that became a tradition for a really long time. In the early 19th century, late 1800s, early 1900s, it became fashionable to so Rome was the first to equate Cupid with Saint Valentine because the whole love aspect, and they did the courtly love and that kind of thing, and then the decorating for it and the selling the Hallmark cards and people making cards and selling them for people, that kind of thing became popular in the late 1800s, early 1900s. But it was more of the idea that we're going to celebrate this day that means you should love. And that was more of just a celebration of love itself, not marriage, not eloping, not courtly love even. It kind of morphed into that this kind of love equals this kind of love. So it became more important to be more important to understand the concepts behind love, which I find super important myself. But also in that time frame was really the idea of love your neighbor. It was really the idea. Okay, my YouTube stream just kind of crashed on me. There we go. My foot twitched and the camera tried to fall, and all you can see is my roof. Okay, sorry guys. What I really want to do is what I did before. I'm just going to cover my YouTube stream for a minute, but that's okay because there's not anybody really there. We're going to put it like this. And kind of move that way. There we go. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to make it technically better, and it's not. It's not a thing. Please ignore the mess you see around me. It's not really there. This doesn't exist. It's a bunch of incense sticks and some water bottles. Okay. All right. So my YouTube stream is off. There we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, so yeah, and in the early 1900s is when it started being about just love. Yeah, come on in. Love in general. It began to be about how do you express love? How do you acknowledge love? So there's a vast difference between accepting and expressing. So it became expressing love, accepting love, spreading love, and being romantic. This is also the time when you would ask a father's permission to court a young woman. I mean, that's always been a thing, but not like before the late 1800s, early 1900s, it was, hey, I'm going to woo your daughter. How many goats do you want for her? Right about the 1800s, about the Western movement, especially out here in the West, it became, I'm going to woo your daughter. And if the woman didn't like it, she had an option. Not a big one, but at least, there were options there. There was no more arranged marriages and betrothals and that kind of thing, at least in America. So I know that kind of thing still happens in other parts of the world today. So I'm not saying it doesn't. Please don't jump my stuff. But that's about the time when we started going, how do I woo a woman? So there was the walks chaperoned through the woods and the dances and the things you see in old Westerns. And then Valentine's Day kind of morphed into that. Like, this is a special holiday coming up that acknowledges just love in general. So how do I get the person I'm looking into to acknowledge me? And one of those special, I'm remembering a lot of this from memory. I wrote a whole paper on it. It was like 18 pages. It was really amazing. One of those traditions became the ice cream social, the picnic basket socials, which I really miss and I wish they would do again. I grew up in small towns and farm towns, and we used to do those. And I really wanted to put one together, but I don't know how many people would be into that. If you're into that, please let me know, because that should be something we should do. So that's where the ice cream socials. For those who don't know, ice cream socials would literally be, you show up, you sit at a table, or somebody else sits at the table by random draw, and then you sit and eat ice cream together. You literally make ice cream sundaes and eat ice cream together and see if there's compatibility. It's like speed dating, but with ice cream. Picnic socials are done in the summer, and they're super awesome. So one person picks a basket or makes a basket. So you decorate your picnic basket with good food, of course, because you need the food, the plates, whatever you put in a picnic. Okay, you're going to design a picnic for two, and you decorate the basket, and then you put the basket on a table. And then the other person, normally this would be women, would make the basket, and then men would bid on it. And you would try to guess which one's was made by the person you like, and that kind of thing. And then all the money would either go to a charity or town hall or something. And then whoever's basket you bought, you would get to have lunch with that person. And they're super fun, and it's super amazing, and you learn really interesting stuff. I went to a Unitarian church for a while, and we did them there. It was super cool. Yeah. So I think this is a thing we should all bring back. Instead of speed dating in bars, we should do picnic socials. But that became a Valentine's Day tradition. It became, churches would do them as get-togethers and that kind of thing. And so I don't have a long talk about St. Valentine. People talk about how it is the embodiment of Hallmark, and it was created by Hallmark, and it's just not true. It is a day to celebrate love and to understand love in yourself, love in your neighbor, love in your partners, love in your family. You should absolutely acknowledge it, even if it's just for the one day. Love is important, and I don't think we spread enough of it around. I think that we, as a group, really cut ourselves short by ignoring what St. Valentine's Day actually is and where it came from and all of its roots, because the more we go, it's a Hallmark thing, it's about the candies and the chocolate, then the less we acknowledge why it was important and why the roots are there, and how love is important in our lives. I know that might seem silly and crazy and hippie-like, but it's where I'm at. I think that we, as a people, not just America, not just, millennials, not just the older generation or whatever, we, as the human race, we forget how important love is. We forget where these roots start and why. And I think that we need to go back to it. We need to teach our children the importance of St. Valentine and why it's a day or a week or a month of romance and love and practicing those sorts of things. So that's a thing. It might be crazy of me, but that's a thing. Let me see. I had a quote saved that I really wanted to share with you, and now I'm having trouble finding it. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm not looking directly into the camera. Saved. I saved it for a reason. Now I have to find it in my saved file. And it is by Fred the Reckless. So he is a friend of mine, and I know not everybody who watches my stream knows who Fred is, but some of you do. And he did this, and it was super impressive for me. Let me see if I can actually pull it up the right way. Did this do it right? And then my computer slows down. There it goes. Okay. So ordinarily, people post things. He says I would post things, but people post things. Funny, like Happy Singles Awareness Day. It's okay. Nobody loves you the rest of the year either. That kind of thing. I saw a lot of it on my post for Valentine's Day, but this really struck me. And so I messaged him and said, can I end my stream with this? And yes, I'm ending the stream early today. I've had a rough week. I got one day off this week and I'm working the next 5, so I'm tired. And I'm back to work 8 hours, 5 days a week, and then I'm going to 410s. And some friends of mine have really had some rough luck, so I'm putting things together for her tonight, and I'm cutting this short. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to end this on this note. I hope people catch up. I know this is a super short stream, and I love you all. But here's the quote. I'm sorry. So I did contact Fred the Reckless and tell him, get his permission to share this with all of you. So ordinarily I would post something funny or snarky like Happy Singles Awareness Day or It's okay, nobody loves you the rest of the year either, etc. But this year I think I'll do things differently. Bear with me. Today is a reminder to acknowledge love. So, love. Love your partner if you have one. Love each of your partners if you have more than one. Love your family, be they blood or chosen. Love your parents, your children, your cousins, your aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews, and your grandparents. Love your pets, your service animals, your emotional support animals, your familiars, your fuzzy, feathered, or scaly children. And if you're single, regardless of whether or not you're in a relationship, love yourself. Love you. Love your face, love your hair, love your body, love your quirks, your passions, your hobbies, your blessings, and love your life as best as you can. Love yourself as you love others. And if you don't know how to love yourself, think about those you love and how you love them. Everyone loves someone. Everyone loves at least one animal. So if you're having trouble figuring out how to love yourself, think about how you love others. And while I know it's not easy, try to love yourself just like that. Celebrate love today, however it finds you, however you feel it, however you express it, and in all the languages in which you speak it. Happy Valentine's Day, and may you love and be loved to the fullest. Blessed be. And I would add to this, you should celebrate love every day. Every day. I know I do. I have an amazing husband who brought me an amazing family. I have amazing children that I brought to my husband's family. I have who all live with their father. So I have children who live with me who are not mine, who are still amazing. My house right now is filled with their laughter and their smiles. And my own birth children have brought me other children who call me mom, and they are amazing. They're all my children, and I would fight to the death for each one of them. I have grandchildren who are not biologically mine, but that doesn't stop them from calling me grandma, and it doesn't stop me from showing off pictures of my grandbabies. And sometimes it is super hard to love myself. That is a fact. I was raised in a household where that was arrogance. I was raised in a household where being comfortable with myself and loving myself was not acceptable. It was selfish. So the idea is hard. The idea that I would put that much energy into myself instead of others has always been kind of taboo and selfish, and makes me have a lot of guilt. So there are a lot of days where I don't know how to love myself. I have a lot about myself I want to change, and I'm working on it. I'm too heavy. Have mental problems. I have physical problems. I have emotional problems. I'm in therapy. I'm on pills. I'm working on the body. And there are a lot of days where I'm like, I can't do this. This is too much. And I don't know how to love myself, and I'm in the feelings. And that's part of what struck me so much about what Fred wrote was I have so many friends who lately, and you know who you are, have come to me, and it's more than one of you, just so you're all aware, who have come to me and gone, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't have the relationship I want. I can't find someone who loves me. I'm only in this relationship because I need to be in a relationship, etc. And my response to them is always the same. You have to love yourself before you can love someone else. And then they go, I don't know how to do that. And yeah. And then I read this, and this will always be my advice from now on. And I hope Fred catches this. I hope he sees it. I know he doesn't always catch my streams, but this was so very important to me, that the idea of, if you don't know how to love yourself, you think about all the energy you express in loving other people, all of the effort you put into making those other people that you love happy just to show off that you love them. Why do we not do that to ourselves? Why do we not put that energy into ourselves as well? Why would we not show ourselves that amount of love? And so, again, if you don't know how, think about those you love and how you love them. Everyone loves someone. Everyone loves at least one animal. So if you're having trouble figuring out how to love yourself, if you're having trouble finding that love in yourself, think about how you love others and try to love yourself just like that. That was a lot more like heart opening than I wanted to be today, so I apologize. But I do. I love you all, and I say like, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the button, ring the bell, spread the message, tell your friends, spread the word, boost the signal. You can't stop the signal now. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Not this Wednesday. I'm not streaming this Wednesday. I might do a stream of, if I get wild and crazy, on Side Seat Gamer instead of streaming from the Quarter World, because I can't make it this week. I'm working for the next 3 weeks. I might do something crazy, like stream myself playing Smash and see how many critiques I get and how crazy that sounds. We'll see. But yeah, I will see you on Wednesday. Look for a written blog. It'll probably get done tonight. Thanks for joining me. I hope you guys all get to see it.